Okay, thank you.
I cannot tell you how humbled I am for this moment and walking in. I have to be honest, it's just like, okay, this is it. This is really happening. I've been saying, yeah, I'm retired, but this sort of brings it to fruition. And I see, and I just sort of look across the room, and it's just like everybody picked people, not only the committee, but there's so many people who have a story. I've shared something with you personally, or just not always related to work. I mean, there are new kids on the block, that I have connected with. And to go back to what Ron said earlier, yeah, that has been a journey for a long time. I think back to Ron was there when my father died. The day my father died, Mady was there to take me to South Carolina. So, yeah, we had a close relationship, and I'm so grateful that it has continued through the years. And, we always reach back and help someone, and that's just what I've always tried to do. I have a story for probably each of you. Mickey has stepped in and helped me with DEI behind the scenes. I can't say enough about Dana, so I'm going to do it individually. Dana is just, there was a fear when TJ left. All of you remember TJ?
Yeah.
But you know what? Dana has just come in, and she's made our lives so fulfilled, because she just knows she knows each of us and what's going on, what needs to be done. I can't thank you enough. And then there are the new kids on the block, like Jamie. Jamie came in, and she had a passion, and she says, yep, I want to work, and she's doing it. Right now, we're in the process of doing some things that will be front and center in June for Pride Month, and that was because of her efforts. Matt came to me with the story, and we sat down, and from there, today we are a part of a team, and, he said, I want to work, and that's exactly what he's done. Another new kid, Alex, is going to be the face with Jamie and Dana and so many others who are that generation who are going to really put the face on what Sand Hills is going to look like 5-10 years from now. So that's why I know it's time for me to go. Susan and I never forget, I reached out to her when she was had her kids in Pinehurst Elementary, and she was ready to do something, and she came in and helped. And it's history. I mean, we've been there for each other, doing the highs, the lows. And, I just appreciate Kathy. I thought the world was coming to an end, because that was my partner across the hall. If I needed, and I, even though everybody say all these great things about me, there are moments when I feel like I'm the cat on the wall. And I said, oh no, Kathy's gone. Who's going to pull me off the wall? And then I had Mamie, who came into my life. We communicated for years or months on the telephone, and I had a connection with her. Not so much my family and in-laws had more of a connection, but when she came on, it was just like we've been knowing each other all our lives. And we could communicate and talk about anything from A to Z. I can't say enough about Karen Clark. Karen and I grew up together on the same street. Karen and I attended church together. Karen and I did Bible school together. Karen and I can tell you, as a leader, you want to find people who will come on board with you. You always look for somebody that's got your back. Karen, I knew I couldn't handpick and say, yeah, this is going to be your job. But I knew once the people on that interview committee would talk to her and communicate with her, they would know that she needed to be at Sand Hills. Our parents were friends. So Karen and I just connected, not only by just growing up together, but there's a bond, and she sort of knows what I'm thinking. And when it came to talking about who knows me, you know, naturally she would get them all. Pat, I met her through my husband at Applebee's as a department chair. Susan will know, and anybody else's department chair know. You are at crunch time and you're looking. Sue know now too. When you're looking for people, and my husband told me, he had told me about, I know somebody, because he got tired of me talking about, oh, the semester started, I don't have nobody to teach this class. And we just happened to be out for dinner one Sunday, and I met her, and we bonded. And plus she is an AKA Ski-Wee. Thank you. I can't say enough about her as well as Sue Senior. I begged Sue Senior to walk into a doing online, and I'll never forget, Rick Lewis was there, and he would talk her head off, but you know, she stood there and she stuck with it, and look at her today. We've been there for each other with our children and their highs, their lows, parents. You know, it's just, I have met so many people here. Bill, you know, don't hide. Bill has always been a person that, let's do it. You know, he sees the vision and he will join you and tell you that, you know, this is what needs to be done, and, you know, I got this idea, and it just works. I begged Daniel to come on board. I knew his wife, who was already involved, so I figured if I got the wife and could talk to her, eventually he would come on board. I know that because of scheduling he has not, but there have been those moments where he's been there. So I appreciate you. So I know you all are eating, and I'm going to get to my food, but Sharitha's another new kid on the block. We bonded immediately. You know, we've had times to go to have lunch, but just to have girl fun and talk about the boys. I have a story to tell, because she has 2 sons as well. Kimberly Blue, she's one of those folks who were back in the day. I asked her to come, which she teach developmental ed, and you know, she was so excited, and she kept saying, once the girls get to a point, I feel like I can do it. Now her kids are, in college, one's finished. So, you know, the tale goes on, and that gentleman beside her is like a son to me. I met him and heard about him. Tom Streeter talked so highly of him, and I understood why later. So, you know, yep, Jason is like an adopted son. He's a part of the family with me. So, you know, he knows what he means to me. And I have given him a dog that he'll tell you and talk about the rest of his life. Now, Sarah is right. You know, I knew Sarah and Tony were very close. And I did not know Sarah as well. I knew that she could be very outspoken. And for some people, she may be even intimidating. But you know what? I found that Sarah is real. Now, if you want somebody who's going to speak and be real with you, she's going to tell it like it is. And I like people like that. I don't want people to just sort of tiptoe around the roses. But, you know, I appreciate her. And I'll never forget, you didn't tell about how I had a vest on. It was a new vest, Sandhills vest, and oh, she fell in love with that vest. I'll pay you, but I took it off my back. She said, here, take the money. I wasn't going to take it, but I gave it to her because it was Sarah, you know? So I appreciate her because she has been a great friend. Our friendship could have been longer. We didn't know it, but now I'm so glad we got on board together. You know, Nevis is that woman who has this aura about her in her presence, her presentation. I'll never forget when she was transitioning to natural hair. We would have conversations over and over again. And of course, we had things in common because she had boys and I had boys. But she became a very close friend because of the vision she had and what she wanted to see. And I still say, might be other VPs or other vice presidents of the faculty assembly, but I tell you, she has been number one. She has changed the face of what faculty presidents look like, and I know that Matt has some shoes to fill. I'm just being real, because she came during COVID. Right. You know, but I have to say that Chris, you know, yeah, we bonded. He's like a brother. He came, and I found that he could be not only a confidant, but a spiritual guide, but he also believed in what I was trying to do. And Mady kept telling me, you gotta meet him, you gotta meet him. And when I met him, it's just like we just sort of hand in glove. I can't say enough about Jonlin either, because Jonlin grew up on Marshall Street as well. You said, you heard me say, you bring people with you. And I knew, I practically begged her, and then all of a sudden she decided I'm going to apply, because there was no doubt that nobody on any interview committee would not see what I knew already. You know, she just is a wordsmith. She just says it, but it's in her genes, it's her DNA. When I get to this one, you know, talk about friends. I'll never forget when she had her first career fair, and we took a picture together. And I always try to make it a point when new people come on board to introduce myself. And I wanted to get to know Gwen, and I wanted to understand, you know, she's the city girl from Baltimore. And I said, well, let's see what she's all about. And she came in, and we developed a friendship, and she's been with me through the highs, the lows. But anytime I wanted anything, Gwen said, I'll do it. I can do it. What you need help with? I appreciate you, Gwen. She does everything with style. Mm-hmm. Rosa, I did not get to know Rosa as well in the early years, but I saw her from afar. And we bonded, and we started hanging out together because we would see sometime after work. But you know, her laugh. After I got to the point that I could take the laugh. Go ahead and laugh for her. But you know, she's a sweet person, and I always said, take care of yourself, Rosa, because Rosa is doing a lot. She is an activist. She's a civic-minded person. And you know, anytime she says I try to be there to help, and anytime I ask. Now this firecracker that's sitting here in the pink, she came and I knew, actually you all remember Kirby Metaxas? Kirby Metaxas' husband came to me and he said, I have a young teacher that you need to meet. And immediately, when she came by, we bonded, we talked, and I could see the excitement of wanting to make a difference. You know, because I was young at one point, and I could see something in her as far as her wanting to be a part of Sand Hills. And she came in and she did her thing. And the students, even though they looked at her, she made it known, I might be small, but yes, I am the professor. You know, she had her way, and our families bonded, and then she brought her baby, the second child, to me, and we would tell I won't go into how he introduced himself the first time, but it was all good. So we have a bond, my family, my husband got to know her, and I'm just grateful for you, Tarshima, because you just have that way of saying things, and you know, that phenomenal woman, she's that, as many of you are. Maggie is another one. Maggie came in and filled Kathy Kruska office, and it's just like I said, okay, Maggie is good. Maggie is really on top of things. And she came in and she has ideas and she works, and she does it with such joy. It's just like light bulbs go off in her head. And she's like, think about this. I just have had to sit back because if you put her and Dana together, oh my God, it was just like I'm sitting there saying,